Hello there, this is your number one radio station. My name is Herbert Mwemba once again. Welcome to yet another exciting and special program right here on your number one radio station. Of course, at this particular moment, I'm joined by experts from the Bank of Zambia and as well as from Securities and Exchange Commission. First, let me introduce Dingase Ena Makumba from Securities and Exchange Commission. It's good to have you on this particular program.
Thank you, Herbert. It's good to be here, and good evening, listeners.
I also have Mr. Mwanga from Securities and Exchange Commission. Mr. Mwanga, it's good to have you on the program.
Thank you, Herbert. It's a great pleasure to be here with you on the program.
Not forgetting Mr. Joseph on the other side from the Bank of Zambia. Sir, it's good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much, Herbert, and thank you very much, listeners. It's good to be here.
I also have Priscilla on the other side. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Herbert. Regards to all the listeners.
Okay. Our focus on this particular interaction is on the 2022 Financial Literacy Week. What is the Financial Literacy Week? Mr. Joseph, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Herbert. The Financial Literacy Week is an annual awareness campaign that was introduced in Zambia in 2013 as a localization of the Child and Youth Alliance International initiative called the Global Money Week. So what this means, Herbert, is that in Zambia we have localized our commemoration under the theme of Financial Literacy Week, whereas globally this is celebrated under the Global Money Week. And these celebrations, commemorations take place in the month of March.
Okay.
And then the aim of the Financial Literacy Week basically is to impart knowledge in our people, understanding, skills, motivation, and confidence to help our people make prudential, that is the key word, prudential decisions for themselves and their families. And each year, since 2013, the celebrations are held under a particular theme, which you will be able to introduce later on. And Herbert, you may wish to know that this year is very important to us as it marks the 10th year in which we are commemorating the Financial Literacy Week, and gives us great pride to see what we have achieved jointly in the last 10 years. Zambia is recognized as one of the few countries in the world that has implemented a successful campaign, and we have won awards in recognition of those efforts. Okay. And listeners may wish to know that this was actually as a result of a survey that was carried out in 2009 by a company called Finmark. They carried out a survey which discovered that 37.3% of our adult population was financially included, meaning that they either used formal or informal financial services, whereas the 62.7% were financially excluded, meaning they did not have any use of either a financial service under formal or informal services. What this means is that the 62.7% did not have any account with any bank, not even under the mobile phone arrangement. So then there are questions that we ask, for example, to say whenever they come across money, how do they use it? Where do they keep it? Where do they invest it? You know, and that became a source of worry because money basically is supposed to circulate. As money circulates, it actually creates wealth. So for us, as Bank of Zambia, under our strategic objective number 2, which talks about financial inclusion, we have picked up this matter to share the knowledge with our people by holding financial education such as the one we are doing right now.
Have you indicated that this campaign in general, seeks to provide guidance on how to manage finances? For those that have just tuned in, they would love to know when this particular commemoration will take place and what the theme is, Mr. Mbanga.
Thank you, Herbert, for that question. So for those that have been following keenly like yourself, you will already have come to establish that this week was actually launched on Sunday by the Minister of Finance, was represented by the Minister of Commerce.
Okay.
So basically this is a week-long commemoration from the 27th, from the 21st to the 27th of March 2022. And also I should mention that we are here as the Securities and Exchange Commission to spearhead activities, particularly for the Copperbelt province. And in doing so, our main agenda here is really to disseminate financial education information to equip the general public with the requisite knowledge, skills and confidence, as Mr. Kawaya mentioned, in line with the theme for the Financial Literacy Week, which is Build Your Future, Be Money Smart. So essentially, if you really look into the theme, it's one that prompts you to be forward-looking. A future perspective is different from a present perspective. So it always prompts us to be able to plan for that future. We have different key life events that happen to all of us. When we are born, a lot of things happen to us through the way we start education at some point, primary school. So for parents, for instance, they have to start thinking about some of those financial obligations that may come as a result of them having children. Even as children also start going to school, they do know that one day they will be adults and they will meet financial obligations along the way. So this week really is a teachable moment, which brings an opportunity for them to learn and also reflect on the potential obligations that they may have in future concerning the responsibility attached to financial obligations. So it's all about forward looking.
Now the bigger question is, who is the target for the Financial Literacy Week activities? You can pick it up, right?
Let me pick it up, and thank you, Herbert. The target group is basically everyone, but in particular the segment after sitting down and looking at the need to actually formulate programs and strategies that directly are going to be assimilated better by the different groups in society. We have come up with about 4 target groups, and these are the children, we have the youth, the adults, and senior citizens in Zambia. We know that all these 4 target groups have their unique needs, and so we have programs that are targeted towards them that will meet their needs in terms of assimilation of message and also understanding of the same message, and also that which will encourage them to take up what is being advised to them.
Now let's talk about the activities that will take place during this Financial Literacy Week.
Yes, so there are quite a number of activities, and they are various, and would like to outrightly encourage everyone to follow. These include the following. But first of all, before I even talk about the activities, I would like to mention that the organizing team comprises of the 3 sectors in the financial sector, and they are led by the regulators, which is the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Bank of Zambia, and the Pensions and Insurance Authority, because that is how our financial sector is structured. Together, we have come up with a common program, and this started on Sunday, which was 20th March, with the pre-launch, which was, you must have seen the Minister of Commerce speak to the nation through a launch speech, which was done on behalf of the Minister of Finance, Dr. Stumbeko. It was followed by a Financial Literacy Week kick-off event at the Italian Cultural Center in Lusaka. Then we had on 22nd and through to 27th planned provincial activities, and this is one of them here on the Copperbelt, spearheaded by the Securities and Exchange Commission and in collaboration with the Bank of Zambia. We will also have engagements on social media. This is for everyone to follow. We'll be on radio, as we are now, and television throughout the week. So it will be buzzing everywhere. and I hope that everyone will have the chance of finding something that relates to their situations. As Muganga mentioned, there are different key life events, and you could be at any one stage of them. Over and above these activities, organized by the National Organizing Committee and different stakeholders, which also includes financial service providers such as the banks and insurance companies and those working in the capital markets, will be done countrywide. I would like to bring particular attention that here in Ndola we're going to have an exhibition which will be preceded by a provincial launch, and this will be, we are honored to have the guest of honor being the permanent secretary for the Copper Belt. And after that, we're going to have an exhibition where the financial service providers will avail themselves to talk to the public. I'd like to encourage everyone, every citizen on the Copper Belt to come and have this rare chance to interact with the service providers outside their banks. You know, sometimes the banking wars can be quite intimidating or just restrictive in many ways, because you need to have business there to go and talk to someone and get advice. But this one, where you just go free and have somebody talk to you about the services that they provide, and if you are even lucky, they might just initiate for you some transaction, things like opening an account and so on, which you can, they'll know how to do it. They are the frontliners. So they are basically saying, come and talk to us, we are here and you're not going to pay anything. So please come through. We'll be at Kafubumo on Friday and Saturday.
Now, as much as we know that players in the banking industry have remained committed in ensuring that Zambia meets its objectives outlined in strategies put in place which will enable the country achieve financial health and stability, we cannot leave out the issue of COVID-19. What has been the impact of COVID on financial education programs?
Thank you very much, Herbert. The COVID-19 has no doubt have an impact on financial education programs. You may wish to know that when we started this program, we used to have huge gatherings. We could gather people and we could talk to them, could demonstrate a few things. But with the coming in of COVID-19, there was a disruption in the manner in which we conducted financial education due to restrictions in physical meetings. Physical outreach programs were actually limited according to the provisions of the health guidelines. So that was one side where we were affected by the COVID-19, but also there was a good side of the COVID-19 in the sense that the disease actually helped us leverage on social media platforms and the media itself to help us conduct financial education like what we are doing right now. So this has proved to be an effective tool, especially for those with access to social media platforms. And we are also engaging community radio stations more in financial education programs to ensure that messages also reach out to those in rural areas and delivered in a language that our people are most comfortable in. You may wish to know that before then we just used to have provincial launches, and then thereafter we never filtered down to the rural areas. But with the COVID-19, we are now able to actually filter and go into our rural areas. As I'm speaking right now, from Bank of Zambia, we have a team in Winirunga, we have a team in Kawambwa. They are also talking to our people on trying to educate the masses on how to be prudent when using their money. So that basically has been the effect, the good side of it, and also the bad side of it, of the COVID-19 on our financial education programs.
Okay. Well, listeners, in case you've just tuned in, you are listening to the Bank of Zambia radio program, and we are talking financial literacy and, of course, the many activities in regards to this particular commemoration. With me in the studio is Mr. Joseph Kawaya and Priscilla Silwamba from Bank of Zambia, and Mubanga Kondolo Jr. from Securities and Exchange Commission, and Dingase N. Makumba from Securities and Exchange Commission. If you have questions, you can Call us on 0954 593436 or 0961 917917, 0954 593436 or 0961 917917. I know that in regards to what we are talking about here, young entrepreneurs, often lack financial skills and knowledge to get their business off the ground or to the next stage of growth. In regards to the negative effects of COVID-19, knowing that COVID-19 has come with so many challenges, including financial challenges. So what lessons can we draw in terms of how we should be managing our resources going forward? Mr. Kawai.
Yes, I think one of the most important lessons that we need to learn, that we have learned during this COVID era, is the aspect of being prudent and being able to plan for the future. And I think COVID-19 has taught us that life is not certain. Sometimes there can be major disruptions in the way we do things, and that we need to be prudent. The decisions we make today will help us in very difficult times. Herbert, you may wish to know that during the COVID-19, particularly at the time when we had when it had heightened, we had businesses that were not running. They were stopped to run. I don't want to mention, because when I begin to mention names, perhaps it will bring bad memory to some people. But what we know is that some businesses were completely shut down. They couldn't operate. Now you can imagine if those businesses never planned for the future, that would have meant their end. They would have used their capital and so on and so forth. So basically, COVID-19 has left a lesson, and the lesson is that we need to be prudent, and also we need to be forward-looking. The other thing that I think we have been taught is that there are certain risks like climate change, which have a direct impact on our finances. I think, to give an example, we have the farmers. Farmers have planted, they depend on rain. But I think at the beginning of the 2021-2022 season, there were a lot of uncertainties, whereby some farmers, as we are speaking even right now, they didn't even plant because they were not so sure whether there will be rains or not. So what does that mean to us? What that means is that we need to also be able to know how to plan, because if we say, I harvest something today, I harvest 10 bags of maize, and I sell all of them, to next year or the following year, there may be a drought. So what happens if there's a drought because of climate change? I may have difficulties in making ends meet. So that we've been taught actually in several other areas that business can be disrupted, and that we need to be prudent, we need to be wise in the way we make plans, and we need to be forward-looking, like I think Muganga had mentioned, the aspect of being forward-looking. That's very, very cardinal.
Okay. Well, listeners, 0954593436 or 0961917917. You can interact with us. Call us on the two numbers I mentioned. If you can't get through via calling, you can still drop us a text message. Priscilla, I want you to chip in here. This is a very, very important topic. Do we have sufficient and effective financial products that can help us address challenges such as the ones we are seeing now? Job losses, reduced business, maybe because of COVID, health challenges, just to mention a few.
Sure. Financial institutions are aware of all these challenges that surround the people in Zambia. And in response to these challenges, financial institutions have designed products that can meet the unique needs of the customers or even prospective customers. Okay. These include, but not limited to, products such as the medical insurance, savings accounts, credit accounts, treasury bills, and government bonds. Remember, Dingani at one point did indicate that our target group is almost all Zambians. Okay. So we know that different groups have different needs. They have unique needs, and so financial institutions are not leaving anyone unattended to. Okay. All right.
0954593436 or 0961917917, 0954593436 or 0961917917. Now, Mubanga, now almost 30 years now since the country reverted to a free market economy, you have been emphasizing mostly what Mr. Kawai has indicated. It's important that we should have a more financially literate population. It's very, very important. Now, looking at this particular commemoration, the Financial Literacy Week is commemorating the 10th anniversary. What are some of the successes you have scored over the years?
Okay, thank you, Herbert. I think to answer that question, first of all, I would like to state that the Financial Literacy Week is one among many other activities under the National Strategy for Financial Education.
Okay.
So for Zambia and as a country, I think that is our first success, to have a plan that is trying to address a weakness that was identified among the general citizens, and that being an issue of low financial literacy levels. So in essence, with activities like the Financial Literacy Week, we did see some sort of discourse that was initiated. That discourse entails having discussions between government and other private sector players, such as financial service providers, financial educators or educationists, if you may wish, and the learners themselves. So I think that was number one, just to initiate that sort of discussion. Now, when that discussion was initiated, obviously there was some inertia, in a way that it was seen to be the responsibility of the lead spearheaders like the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Education, and regulators such as ourselves, the Securities and Exchange Commission, Bank of Zambia, and the Pensions and Insurance Authority. So in 2012-2013, when we had our initial Financial Literacy Week, it was basically an event in Lusaka, essentially. But over the years, we have seen that Financial Literacy Week grow into a nationwide event with a lot of stakeholder engagement and support. Today, we have almost all financial institutions in the banks participating, in the insurance sector participating, as well as the capital markets players, which sector we are representing. So there's been that strengthened collaboration between public and private sector to advance the Financial Literacy Week, among other activities that we have as a country. And also, we believe the Financial Literacy Week and other financial education activities have contributed to increasing the levels of uptake of financial products and services, but not only the uptake, but it has enabled citizens to better understand what sort of financial products and services they need that are suitable for themselves. So yes, those are some of the wins. If you look at the recent FinScope survey, which was undertaking, the tool that is used to essentially look at the levels of financial inclusion, we will see an increase from about 58%, 51% to 61.3%. So I think such activities do really contribute to those levels of uptake.
0954593436 or 0961917917. You can interact with us. We seem to have a caller. Hello, you're through.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your names and where are calling us from?
Andrew Moff on the line.
Okay, your question or contribution to the topic we are having.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone in the panel.
Okay.
Hello.
Thank you so much. As much as we can appreciate the program, which has come at the right time. But all we need is, but I also need to challenge the Bank of Zambia representatives, like those in the panels that we are lacking communication with them. As you know, that the press itself is not a friend to anyone. So when the inquiries, concerning inquiries, it's not a friend. So how much are you doing, guys? Because it's not everyone who is on radio. So you must also employ some few people, maybe they follow us here in Kurukusu, so that they will educate people like it has come, the program itself. It's a nice one, but lack of communication. People were not even aware that there will be such a program. So I'm challenging you guys to at least support those who are not even on radio. How much are you doing to educate those like in rural areas?
Okay.
That is my take for the sake of time.
All right, thank you so much for coming through. That was our first caller. 0954593436 or 0961917917, 0954593436 or 0961917917. We seem to have another caller. Hello, you're through to the program. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much. Money makers, welcome to this beautiful program.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, I never believed that it is so an easy thing to save on the phone. Let me tell you, I'm senior citizen, 70 plus 80 minus. We were saving, the poorest was saving in a post office, post office. From there, let me move a little bit. From there, now we have come to save on the phone. And so ignorant with me, Ubututu. I just came to know it this year. And I can draw and deposit and send it to someone and buy talk time and do everything and buy ready. I'm surprised. Can you understand this? The only thing people don't know is that just like that, you cannot be wrong. Get you send it in a paper. You can't go to the bank, not to be in the queue. A lot of qualifications, I'm telling you. Thank you very much for this good program.
Thank you so much for coming through to Atotela Sana Mkwai. Feel free, you can use any language, you can use local language. Nga Chibemba, Chilamba Mkwai, Kutimwa Isa Mkwai, Mwatu Tuminanga. Mkwatame Pusho Alliance in regards to what we are talking about. Financial Literacy Week, of course, you can call us at 0954593436 or 0961917917. If you're having challenges getting through via calling, you can still drop us your text messages. Now, the first caller raised a concern, a very serious concern. Let's talk about the other initiatives you have put in place. In an aim, to reaching out to members of the public through sensitization, awareness activities, especially in schools, communities, just to ensure that there's an increase in our financial literacy levels in the country, especially aba kumshikulia na kuma places yamo like kwa Chipulukusu, Kunkwazi and other areas.
Twatotela sana makamaka kuli ba Andrew Mofu pali ma observation yabo bapanga ichakwalirapo. I would like to inform Mr. Andrew Mofu that Bank of Zambia as an institution is a very open institution. You see, sometimes people have misconceptions about certain things. All you need to do, come as an honest person. You find some personnel outside that institution, and they'll be able to help you. They're highly trained people who will actually be able to help you. You'll be amazed, actually. The problem is sometimes we make our decision based on what we hear from other people without walking through the process. So Andrew Mofunga namukwata ife mulefo kwipusha kuti mwaisa mkwai pa Bank of Zambia uko bali abakesa mutangata wino sana kwa kula no kushupikwa sana hiyo. Then mwachalanda pafyo chita nolo balirwa banenso bali mumishi ishishi benga mwachitampa na ifo kumfa program yesu na chilando kutila fino fo bomba muri uno musango natukwatako n'abanenso kufuma ku Bank of Zambia na chilumbula mwinilunga na lumbula na kawambwa natukwata actually n'abali kumpulungu n'abali kumuchinga munchendesha lekana in rural areas. Then we also work with our partners. Our partners are financial providers, and these are the banks. In our case as Bank of Zambia, we only have two places where you can find us. One in Lusaka where we have our head office, and in Ndola where we have our regional office. But we work with partners who are financial service providers, the banks. These people have outreach programs. These are the ones normally who go to the primary schools and to other institutions. But even in our case, we also have such programs. Even as we are talking, I think maybe after I've talked, Mubanga will have to come in and say something about some of the outreach programs that are there. Then on the part of Chitondo, I think tuatotela sana pakumfwa ukutila ti your phone is your money actually. We will talk more about that as we proceed with our program. That was the recommendation, and in fact, mwafyashwa chitondo champo kufisengyoko, we can safely say that we can. You are one of our ambassadors in terms of educating our people. When we are not there, then we are sure that Wachitondo Champo is there to say something. But maybe before I ask my colleague to come on board, let me just quickly say that in 2015, we had a population of the adult youths of 3.1 million who were financially included, meaning that these have either an account with the financial institution or some informal financial institution, like if you're Champo Palwa saving a phone. We moved to, in 2020, when the last survey was done, we moved to 5.5 million, translating to close to 70% of our adult population who are now financially included. This is a very big milestone in our campaigns, and it's one of the greatest scores that have been made through our sensitization programs. Maybe Mwanga can say something about the school outreach programs.
Okay. Please, Mwanga, can you chip in?
Thank you. My colleague, I think, has said a lot. Fingi Valanda, so Shalundilepo Fing Sanamkwai. But what I can say has been a success in terms of outreach. Kuti lefya palama programa ya maskulu akaleta twakwete financial education tuletile okusambilisha abantu pandalama mu maskulu mu subjects, but that is a process which was revised through the Ministry of Education ukubombela pamona efuama financial sector regulators, Ministry of Finance, twalitila ati financial education ifure aba maskulu ukutila abana wale sambilila bwangu fya kusunga endalama, so that kutiba ekala wino mtende na mafamily yawe ngabakola, as an example. So the current school curriculum yalikuwa ta financial education, financial education content omoyava curriculum, how do people earn money, kutiba saving akwisa instead ukulasunga indalama mumaloba kutiba ya kuma financial institution, kutiba saving amuma banks, kutiba saving amuma shares. I'm sure people know about having part ownership in shares of companies. So all those are some of the concepts that have been included in the school curriculum. Apart from that, we do also have programs as financial sector regulators, which we run in the schools, just to try and build and inculcate that culture of savings and investing. Okay. My colleague Dingase maybe would like to add one or two things.
Yes, please.
Well, I think you have it covered quite adequately. Our objective or our insistence on going into the school syllabus is that we know that these children who are learning will also impact what they are learning to their families. We know that there must have been a gap. There was a gap, in fact, when this financial education was not as embedded in the curriculum. So we do know that children are quite enthusiastic about what they learn, and when they go home, they're able to actually advise. And it has been researched that once somebody learns and is happy with what content they have acquired, they're able to pass it to at least 5 other people. So we are hoping that this is working. Na baleta shakona fimwe file chitika mu chalo ifya kusambia na ifya mafoni ama products na ya fulako. So tule nekilo kwa bati ishi kushireisa mumi akashireisa ifintu fika chirapo na pafefe weme palika no kashita.
All right. 0954593436 or 0961917917 if you have questions or contributions. In case you've just tuned in, we are discussing financial literacy here, and with me in the studio is Mr. Mwanga Kondolo Jr. and Dingase Makumba from Securities and Exchange Commission, and as well as Mr. Joseph Kawaya and Priscilla Silwimba from Bank of Zambia. Now, as much as we know that financial literacy affects our lives, my interest is still on the challenges being faced here. As the bank, Mr. Kawaya, I want you to chip in here. Can you just tell us some of the challenges that you've identified as the bank, and what is being done to address some of the barriers that are still preventing people from being financially literate?
Thank you very much once again, Ebet. Much of it has to do with information asymmetry.
Okay.
Most people actually still do not have enough information about the diverse financial products that we have on the market. And others have limited understanding on how financial products can enhance their livelihood, whereas others do not trust financial service providers. And this is where consumer protection comes in. What do I mean, Ebet, about information asymmetry? I think we had a very good example from our brother Andrew Moff, who said, when you look at your building, which means what he has a certain perception about our building. So because of that conclusion, it means that he will not be able to learn more of what happens. Even in a setup like a banking, it means that he can people sometimes cannot even go to a bank because they think that banks are meant for a specific type of people. Limbi wale munokwati na kalimoni wale fya abantu abafala amatai ebe ngaya ku banki nanguni wale fya abantu abalande chisungu ebe ngaya ku banki iyo mkwa ibonsha abantu kuti baya ku banki fikura fya bofidia. Then others also they base their decisions on what they have heard from their friends. So if you have a situation where you are going to base your conclusion on maybe another person who doesn't have a positive attitude towards banking, it means that even you have that kind of idea. But if you have a person like you can be encouraged and you can go ahead. So the aspect of perception is a challenge that we are actually facing. And also in some situations, people just undervalue the relevance of financial education until something happens to them. What do I mean? Sometimes we've drawn up programs to speak to people and they'll tell you it's not important. So they only realize when something happens to them. Let me give you an example. In the recent past, we've experienced some fires on some markets, okay? Some market stands have actually been burnt down, completely burning down. So if one did not insure their stores, it means that that might mark the end of their business. So it is very, very important that we listen to this kind of information, because at the end of it all, you may be able to pick out something. Then how we are addressing some shortcomings, there is also consumer protection. If you have an issue, for example, just yesterday when we had a program somewhere in Kitwe, we visited a group called Mindset Change. And we had a very good question from one person who was in the audience. That person said, what is this I hear that banks steal money from people? You see, that was the question which was posed to us. So we did explain that there's nothing like stealing to people, from people, and we also encourage them that if they have a complaint, they can actually raise it. If it's a complaint with the bank, they can raise it with that bank. If it's not adequately addressed, they can escalate it to Bank of Zambia, who will be able to look into it until it's actually finally resolved. So people, we are encouraging you to listen to programs like this one, so that you pick up a few things that can actually help you in your life. So we need to provide people with the right information and help them understand how various products can enhance their quality of life. At the moment, Herbert, banks have very interesting products. If one walks to them, you'll be surprised to find that you may even find an account which doesn't even attract any charge at all. You can even open an account for a child who is very, very young, so many diverse products. So all you need to do is just walk over and speak to them, and you'll be able to learn a lot. So we are encouraging our people to actually visit such places. And also, rest assured, we have regulators, different regulators, who are able to address certain shortcomings. If you have any problem, speak to the regulators that we earlier on talked about.
0954593436 or 0961917917. We seem to have a caller. Hello, you're through.
Hello, Amanda.
Walishani mkwai. Telefoni bana nishina wali tumina kwisa.
Veteran papa bona nwapi.
You can go ahead with your question or contribution.
Good afternoon, panel.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
What I've observed, my bank bamwemba ni interest ku bantu. Loza leseko kunmo kuna leza kwenda kuma bank mefanya kwati. Ila watu wale ndama ni 50,000. Ila interest rate pay 2,000 kwa changu 1.5. And those people that are making a lot of money with that money, they were deposit in the bank.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
We are getting you. You can go ahead. You can proceed.
Yeah, this is what I've observed in my banks. Aleka kumeridia kuntanikane. Ameridia ni aliko buno ya kwete konganiwana ni wawa kwete media. So I giving an interest which is good. But now our banks now the interest is very little. You know no sana ndame wakta ya kwa jika ba plaka interest. Of which in Africa you could fix account here wala pay in that. Walika 100,000. I just have to pay almost 5,000 quite. Which is very small interest. But when you deposit the money in the bank. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming through. 0954593436 or 0961917917. Now, due to time, maybe I also want us to look at to put our focus on some of the key messages that you are focusing on. You've talked about the role parents can play in this particular program. How can parents help children to develop a culture of saving? That's another important topic. I know you've mwachilanda pumkwai a bit, and we can also talk about budgeting. How should it be done? As you get to respond, maybe you can address the previous caller, like the concern that he is raised.
Point he has raised, he's talking about low interest on savings. We have noted that concern, and I think it's something that we can only share about this. But maybe I need to just say that as Bank of Zambia, what we do on a quarterly basis, we do get some obtaining interest on certain products. And then we publish them in the paper. So we expect our people to check. As you are aware, Herbert, we are in a liberalized economy. So sometimes coming in to intervene, you may end up crossing paths with the law. But that's what we do. We provide that information. So we expect our people to take time and be able to go through and see which bank is offering a better rate than maybe some other banks. So that's the only thing that we can do. Even themselves, they can actually go around the banks to say, I have this much amount of money that I want to invest. So how much interest will you be able to give me? So they will be told. Bank A will tell them 1%. Another bank might tell them 2%. At the end of the day, they will see which bank is better. So let them take time to walk through the banks. It's like when you're buying a product. We know that a bottle of water in one shop can even cost 5 kwacha. The same quantity in another can cost 10 kwacha. So it's up to you. If you feel like going to where it's costing 5 kwacha, you go there. If you feel like going where it's costing 10 kwacha, you do likewise. So that's how this information which you provide to people actually works.
Okay.
I would like to just add a bit on that one. People should not restrict themselves just to banking products. There are many other products in the financial sector that might meet their needs better. So it would be nice that they seek to talk to what we call financial advisors. And these they can find even on the Securities and Exchange Commission website, who can sit with them and look at what they want to achieve from the money that they have. So if, for example, they have that 100,000 and do not have plans for it in the next few years, or they have it in the next 3 months, the financial advisor, or depending on the research that they undertake for themselves, they'll find that perhaps there are products that can have better interest or better yields other than just the savings account that they are talking about or that they are familiar with. So my encouragement is that they need to do shopping beyond just the banks, because of course we have all known that we have all known the fact that we can save, but they can also invest. but that will depend on the horizon, the time span, the plan that they have for the money, and a whole lot of other things that will factor into which product they choose and which can best meet their needs.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we are almost concluding the program here, but quickly, we've seen an increase in the use of mobile money. Reports of fraud are also increasing, arising from the mobile transactions and forex transfers. How can one protect themselves from being scammed? That's another issue, a serious concern that has been raised now for a long time in our country.
Yes, Herbert. Like you said, in the interest of time, we can quickly run through. When doing mobile banking, please, and let me repeat, please, make sure you protect your mobile device and do not share your personal identification number. And then if report any suspicious activity on your mobile banking services to your service provider. Also, sometimes when you have a phone that is not in use, make sure you delete some sensitive information from there. And also you stay secretive to avoid shoulder safing. That is the practice of stealing passwords. You know, when you are at the ATM and you are punching in your PIN number, make sure you use one of your hands to cover where the numbers are, so that nobody behind is able to see it. Because if they see it and they get hold of your card, they may be able to transact. And then maybe when you're doing forex transactions, we appeal to our members that they should only buy forex from licensed financial services. They'll be able to, in institutions, they'll be able to find the certificate from Bank of Zambia there, showing that they are actually licensed to deal in forex. Why are we saying this? There have been instances of people buying counterfeits. And also, when you have requests on your phone from unknown numbers or emails, do not send funds, straight away. Then also, don't disclose your passwords. Like we said earlier on, monitor your account regularly, and for any money transfers that you make sure you are sending to the right person. Herbert, you may wish to know that as at now, all the phone numbers are actually linked to your names. So if I'm sending to Mubanga, before I punch the last button to confirm the transaction, I need to ensure that I'm actually sending it to Mubanga. The name should read Mubanga, because if I send it somewhere else, it will be very difficult for me to actually get a refund. And also, let's be careful. Recently, I think we've had cases where people have been duped. Somebody sends money to another person, and then they will phone and say, I have sent money to your mobile phone by mistake. Kindly send it back to me. We've heard that in the process of people trying to send it back to them, some people manage to reverse, such that at the time you are concluding the reversal, you find that you are eating your own money. So don't rush to do a reversal, and where you are not so sure, contact your mobile service provider to be able to help in that area. I think there are also other fraud techniques where people will just send you a message to say, ndeshtisha gold 5 grams or whatever it is, please send 100 kwacha na alami tumina gold mukashitishe. There are people who respond to such. Please avoid responding to such kind of messages, otherwise you end up losing your money.
Okay. Now, in the interest of time, Priscilla, I want you to chip in. There's another concern on the issue of damaged currency. Members of the public are often in possession of torn and worn out kwacha notes and have difficulties to transact, especially ama 2 kwacha and 5 kwacha. And it's a challenge. Now the question is, what should one do with damaged currency, and what are the requirements to exchange mutilated currency? And is it a crime to deliberately mutilate currency?
Yes, I'll start with your last question. It is an offense to mutilate currency deliberately, and you'll be liable to conviction of not more than 2 months. Okay. And then if you come across such notes, as Mr. Kawaya already indicated, you are free to come to Bank of Zambia. All you need to come with is an NRC, and your note. And depending on the state of your note, you will be attended to accordingly. We have also always encouraged members of the public to take care of their notes, because that is a very precious thing and yet very costly to have. So please do not expose the notes and the coins to harsh conditions.
Okay. All right. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for making an appearance on this program. Wishing you all the best in the many activities coming as you commemorate the Financial Literacy Week.
Thank you so much, Mwanga. Maybe just to indicate that mutilated currency exchange is done on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, listeners, you've been listening to the Bank of Zambia radio program. Tuatotela sana kuli badavonse mkwayaba tutumina phone those that participated. But if you still have questions, you can drop them on 0954593436 or 0961917917 via text. I'm your presenter, Herbert Mwemba.